Did you know that approximately 4 million dogs and cats are killed each year across our nation? 9.6 million companion animals enter shelters each year throughout the United States. About 50% of those are picked up by animal control, and the other half is owner relinquishment, where the owner just feels that they can't take care of the animal anymore, and in some cases, they adopt the puppy, this cute, sweet, cuddly little puppy, and then it grows up to be a dog, and it's not cute anymore, and they don't want it. Reasons for owner relinquishment also include moving, no time for the pet, and inadequate facilities. Of the half that are picked up by animal control, according to the Humane Society, about 2% of the cats and 15 to 20% of the dogs are returned to their owners. Most are identified by tags, tattoos, and microchips, such as the Home Again chip you can have inserted under your dog's skin at your local vet. Now, with a number like 9.6 million homeless animals and an approximate population of 308.4 million people in the United States, what I figured is if 1 out of 32 people adopted a pet, it would greatly decrease the amount of homeless animals we have in our shelters, therefore decreasing the amount of euthanasia that is taking place in the shelters. Today I want to talk to you about pet adoption. Pet adoption can happen in several ways. One way, check your local animal shelter and see what time that they have for pet adoption and what time you can come by and check out to see what kind of puppies or cats they may have. Another way, check your local pet stores. I know the PetSmart here in Brasher has pet adoption days every Saturday. You can go and you can look and see what they have to offer for puppies and cats, and you can pick out an animal of your liking and you can adopt it that day. Now, in order not to further add to the problem, let's make sure we can properly care for our new friend. Make sure if you rent your home or your apartment that your landlord is okay with the animal that you desire. When we adopted ours back in April, we thought that Lola would fit within the size regulations of the apartment complex in which we were living, or in which my wife was living, and I was staying with family. We went to fill out the pet deposit paperwork, and they said that she was going to be too big to stay in the apartment, so she had to stay with me and my family until we found a house and got married. So make sure that you know about approximately what size the dog is going to be when you get ready to adopt, and make sure that your apartment or your house landlord is okay with that. Financially, make sure you can afford the pet. At first, especially with puppies, I know it can be kind of costly with the vaccines and the shots that are required by law, and the every month or so vet visits to make sure that the pet is healthy. Make sure you can afford to feed the pet and have plenty of toys to play with and chew on. That way they're not chewing on your shoes, your furniture, or your television. Also, make sure you pick out the pet best suited for your needs and the pet's needs. If you're allergic to cats, like I am, it's best that we don't adopt a cat. If you live in an apartment or a smaller house with a small yard, you might not want to think about adopting a Great Dane. You might want to think about a smaller dog. Make sure that if you have children in your house, that the dog or pet you desire is suitable and has a good record of playing nice with the kids. Back in April of this year, my wife and I went by a local pet store's adoption day. We were excited to see all the cute and furry friends that were looking for homes. We walked around and played with a few different pups, and then I spotted a cage with 3 little boxer mix puppies. Only one of them was awake at the time, and it was kind of one of those, she looked at me, I looked at her, we knew, this was the puppy for us. So I picked her up out of the cage and held her for a little while, and it just felt right. So we said, okay, this one is for us. So we filled out the application and paid the adoption fee, which for Lola was $60, just because of the size of dog that she was going to be. I know it ranges anywhere from $35 to $100 for an adoption, just depending on the type and size of dog that you desire. And then after we got the application and adoption fee paid for, we went shopping for bed, bowls, food, toys, a collar, and a leash. As we left the store, we got into the car, and on the radio were the Kinks singing Lola. And me and my wife kind of looked at each other and we're like, well, that's a good name. It kind of fits her personality so far. So Lola was the name that we picked out. We decided long before Lola that we felt very strong about pet adoption because we knew of the great need excuse me. We knew of the great need that was out there for animals needing loving homes. Today, I hope I spurred you on to adopt a pet. Granted, you can go buy a pet from a breeder, but be expecting to pay anywhere from $800 to $3,000 for the dog. With the pet adoption, the animals at the shelters are not damaged. They're not, broken by any means like that. They just need homes, just like as a child in an orphanage, really. So I urge you to check out your local pet shelter, your local pet store, and check out an adoption day, and hopefully you find a pet that will enter your family and just become part of the family just like Lola has with us. I thank you for your time, and I hope that this has helped you to make a decision on to adopt a pet. Thank you, and have a great day.